good morning, everyone. Welcome to the meeting. This is an information session about the Handbook of Drawing Research, which is a project that we're working on and will be published by Bloomsbury in the UK. As we've just been talking about, we'll be recording the session, so people who can't make it can watch the recording and it'll be available for you to watch back. So I'm not sure if your faces appear on the screen, but if you want to turn your cameras off, if you don't want to be recorded. Harry has turned on the transcription, so hopefully there'll be a transcription as well to go with the recording. So in the meeting today, what we'll do is introduce ourselves. We'll introduce the Handbook of Drawing Research and our aims for the publication. We'll present where we are so far in the process of compiling the book, and outline our call for proposals and how to submit and the deadline for those. And we should have time for questions as well at the end. So if we move on to introductions, we'll go left to right along here.
Anouk, you're muted.
Anouk, you're quiet.
Sorry. I'm Anouk Mercier, and I was lead technical instructor for drawing and visual studies at the University of the West of England for 10 years. And I'm now an independent artist researcher based in France.
I'm Chloe Massey, and I'm a senior lecturer in illustration at Birmingham City University.
Hi, I'm Gary Embry. I'm senior lecturer in illustration at University of West of England in Bristol.
And I am Lucy Ward. I am senior lecturer in fine art at UE Bristol, and I am academic lead for drawing there. We'd also like to introduce Harry Hudspeth, who you will have all heard from over the summer, who is our research assistant on this project. Let's move the slide. So what do we mean? First off, what do we mean by drawing research? So for the purpose of the book, we take drawing research to mean research that's into or about drawing or drawings, research through drawing or involving drawing, and research by drawing. So that's not to say that our definitions are fixed or narrow, and because we understand that drawing defies easy categorization and is ever developing. So this sketch here shows the expanding parameters and breadth of drawing research. So the Handbook of Drawing Research is a project that we're working on together, and it'll be a global survey of contemporary drawing practice, new knowledge about drawing and new knowledge gained by drawing. We aim for the book's contents to be global, so to have contributions from across the world, to be diverse, to show the range and breadth of drawing research taking place, to be inclusive, to include contributions from different kinds of researchers, and to be interdisciplinary, so to involve people from outside the arts.
Our methodology for creating a book on drawing research has been defined by open, inquisitive and inclusive approaches. So for example, a first step was to find out what drawing research meant to the community. So in 2023, we held a symposium and we asked openly, what is drawing research? The day event included international contributors from places as far as South Africa, the Middle East, and France, Europe, and fields as wide-ranging as medicine, museum drawing curation, and research itself. Next slide, Lucy, thanks. We work collectively. We're not working alone as a drawing research group. We have open discussions with the community to gather ideas around what is drawing research. We are working towards making our community as expansive as we can. Next slide, please, Lucy. An example of this approach is the exhibition we held alongside the symposium that enabled us to see and handle examples of drawing research proposed by a very global community. So experimental works included sculptural drawings from New Zealand, blind rubbings from New York, and films from Belgium, being just 3 examples. The exhibition was opened by Deb Commode, who's director at the Midland Art Centre, who's an advocate of making creativity more inclusive, and who spoke of the importance of seeing examples of physical drawing research to initiate discussion, as well as including the spoken presentations. So importantly, the exhibition encouraged discussions that contributed to our open inquiry into what is drawing research.
So as a research group in recent years, as well as the BCU exhibition and symposium, we've been quite proactive at disseminating our projects, and particularly the book on drawing research. So different events such as the conference at Leeds School called Radical Drawing, where a poster was presented by Lucy and Anouk, or Lucy and Chloe actually. The Drawing Now Art Fair, which we've attended 3 years, and Anouk also gave a talk as part of Drawing and Learning Tools. And more recently, the conference in Porto, Drawing Across Along Between University Borders. Next slide.
So we thought it might be useful to recap where we are now and where we're going moving forward. So just in terms of numbers, at this point in time, we have 19 complete submissions that were selected from our initial call in 2023. We have 20 additional submissions that are currently in progress. So that brings us to a total of 39 submissions to date. But we're looking for about 50 in total to bring us to a total word count of 250,000, which means we're still looking for approximately 11 additional submissions. Again, we thought it'd be helpful to run through our draft chapter titles. So these may evolve, but this is the current structure we are working towards. So we thought it might help you in terms of positioning perhaps your own submissions. So we have defining drawing research in context, research about drawings and research about drawing, research as a method for advancing or acquiring knowledge and understanding. So looking, specifically at teaching and learning. Drawing as a research methodology, both outside of an arts practice context, as well as in an arts practice context. As thinking, communication and collaboration within research and across disciplines. The future of drawing research, and finally a potential chapter with a focus on specific case studies in drawing research. So we thought it would be interesting to share with you a few of the emerging themes that we're noticing coming up. So first and foremost, these things are coming up as we're speaking to the researchers that have submitted so far, and we've definitely identified that there's issues relating to research contexts, like mainly how practice research is understood and supported in broader university frameworks. And a typical example of this is really that the shoehorning of arts research within a framework which has been designed to cater for scientific research or maybe humanities. And in certain contexts, this makes, for example, applying for funding more difficult. So if you're an artist researcher applying for funding within a scientific research context, even just the application process can be quite difficult. So this is emerging, and one of the solutions potentially to this issue, which is another emerging theme, is the need for a recognition of visual literacy. So really thinking about drawing as a research language in its own right, alongside literacy and numeracy. Drawing is research, drawing is thinking, thinking is drawing. And really what that would allow is for the research landscape and to be more inclusive. There is at the moment, it is exclusive to an extent due to the way that the research structure is. So what we were talking about in terms of applying for funding, etc., which is often based in writing. So improving on the recognition of visual literacy may lead to a more inclusive research landscape. And then finally, this is an emerging theme that was no surprise to us and no surprise to you, I'm sure, is really just a confirmation that the interdisciplinarity of drawing makes it a perfect tool for collaboration and communication in research, and really contributes to destroying boundaries between different disciplines and different research contexts. So these are some of the emerging themes currently.
Lucy, you're mute.
I knew that would happen. So the session this morning is part of our second call for contributions to the book. So following our first call, which was in June 2023, we're aware that our reach has been limited on a number of fronts in making people aware of the book and the opportunity to contribute to it. So we've been taking steps to address these limitations, and in particular, we realised we need to work harder to achieve our ambition of a global scope for the book. So we've been able to secure some funding through UE Bristol for a research assistant, and that's Harry. Thanks very much, Harry, to work with us over the summer to help us to reach further. We've also managed to secure some funding through Bloomsbury, the publisher, for translation of papers. So this need not be a barrier to potential contributions in other languages.
Okay, we kind of looked at the kind of contributions we were hoping for, and we want to either ask you or ask you if you know anyone in terms of drawing, so different ways of drawing, so drawing as a way of thinking or a way to solve problems or a way to find new problems. Do you use drawing to uncover new things? Do you use drawing as a research methodology? Drawing as a way of collecting or recording information or data? Does your work involve research into drawings, diagrams, notations, marks? Does your work involve research into processes of drawing, mark making? And do you use drawing as a way to communicate during the process of research, etc.? And other ways which we might not have even considered. We're really happy to receive contributions which might be very speculative. Next slide. And formats, we're trying to think of an expanded, as much as possible, ways of drawing in terms of annotated images, essays, interviews, academic papers, which we've got quite a few of, reviews, visual essays, drawings, films, performative outcomes, or maybe this is a way of not just a call for submissions, but maybe it's a way to facilitate new work. So you might have a practice, a drawing practice, but you might decide to, instead of write about that practice, you might decide to draw about that practice. It might be a diagrammatic way, or it might be mapping your practice. So we're trying to be quite explorative, experimental in terms of, encouraging and facilitating new ways of writing and new ways of drawing. Next slide. How to submit a proposal and deadline. Obviously, we had an original call for submissions, and we've updated that on the website. So there's a link there where you can go, and there's a formal call for contributions and our email as well. So if you've got any questions, you can always email us. But I'd go to the website in the first instance. But yeah, happy to answer any questions at the end of the discussion or by email. Next slide.
So this really is just a slide for you to have an idea, because people keep asking us what the book might look like. So you can see the Bloomsbury Handbooks is a series, an existing series, of which we've included an example here. So that's the Handbook for Linguistic Landscape. So it will be a similar format. It is quite a big book and an academic book, which will mainly be held in organization and institutional libraries. And we are still in discussion with Bloomsbury as to how exactly it will be disseminated. So there will be an online version, how that will be accessible. Obviously, we are keen for it to be as accessible as possible and as easy to disseminate. So that's, we're still talking to them about that. So we'll be able to let you know more over the coming months as they also define a strategy. And finally, we're going to have some time now for questions. So please don't hesitate to ask us questions now, but if ever you would prefer to, you can also email questions at our email address, which you can see here. And just to say, if you do email us, just to bear in mind that just be patient with us, because we're obviously running this project alongside our other commitments. So sometimes it can take us a little while to get back, but we will.